Hi guys, tonight is the night. We're gonna finally, if you guys saw the last video where we lowered it, we're gonna install these fucking guys here. And I'm gonna come over here to my exhaust pile where I think I have a few pieces left. We're gonna do some measuring and whatnot. So this is 2.5. So I need to do some measuring because imagine this size exhaust pipe on the car. You can see, so I think we got lucky here because this is 2.5, and the fact that that slides way over, especially that, I hope that just fits without having to make any modifications whatsoever. Because what I was thinking of doing, I got plenty of 2.5 inch, but this is 2 3/8. So I'm gonna get the front jacked up as well. We have it on blocks, jack in the back. I know that one's seen better days, but don't worry, it's fine. Get this whole thing up in the air. We're gonna pull the exhaust off, get it on the floor right here. We're gonna use this because this whole thing's gonna get replaced. So I'm just gonna use this to keep from scratching up the exhaust. Not that it's gonna matter, but I did hit a bunch of speed bumps in this setup with it lowered and whatnot, and did not hit, did not bottom out, no nothing. So setup is perfect. We're gonna do the same thing. Like I said, pull this whole thing off and figure out where we're gonna cut and weld, take some measurements and whatnot. So I want both of these things installed, and we are gonna install them with the flow through, kind of like that. So you guys can see on this side, it's like, if you did like that, it's definitely gonna restrict exhaust. Let's start pulling this exhaust down, get this thing up in the air, and worst case, we're actually taking this tomorrow. I gotta pick up a power only tomorrow. So we're not gonna drive this thing tonight, but I'm gonna let you guys hear it real quick so you can hear what it sounds before and after. And keep in mind, we are replacing this cannon down the road. Tonight is literally just get the resonators in. We are going to be cutting off this entire back section and redoing all of this entire thing back here, because whoever made this system, you can see it's slanted over to the side, and if I try to bring it over, you can see down there it actually hits the control arm and the sway bar link. So we'll cut these mounts off and put a legitimate muffler under here. But let's hear how this thing sounds. Now keep in mind, it is warmed up. I will open the door for ventilation, but here's how she sounds. Not bad at idle, but when you rev it up, it sounds like a 4-cylinder. We do not need any raspiness, none of that shit. Also, when we get rid of the catalytic converter, we are going to add and replace it with another resonator. Main reasoning, we will have two-step, we will have pops and bangs, and a couple other little things that are just gonna destroy a catalytic converter. So, unfortunately, we have to get rid of the catalytic converter. Not today, we are not ditching the cat right now, but in the future, we will be ditching the cat. So, I'll get this fucker back up in the air. Let's get it. That thing sounds like shit. I don't like it. But at least being 2 3/8 and not a total 2.5, it sounds way better and is way quieter than those systems would be. So I'm just gonna use a jack on both sides and just get this thing up in the air. All right, so I put these two back to back. We're definitely gonna be doing some cutting. I didn't measure great. I didn't measure at all before I ordered them, but I said, fuck it, we're gonna send it. So when I come down here, we're definitely going a lot of that distance. We might end up cutting this flange out completely and just welding straight to that guy. And we're definitely gonna be cutting this off and re-welding it. So I'm gonna get this entire exhaust system dropped and then put them in where I need them. Make sure that thing is where it needs to be in the same orientation, and get rid of this fake resonator, and then we will weld those in when we get there. So what this tells me, the fact that these are too long, is that these are going to do way better as a resonator than the other setup that I had. This cannon might actually sound good by the time we're done with it. I said might, might sound good. I don't know yet. We will see. So, let's get this exhaust down. It's not all that complicated. It should take me about 5 minutes to drop the whole thing. And then we'll start cutting and welding. All right, let's be real, guys. It didn't even take 5 minutes. It genuinely took, if I had to guess, 3 minutes to pull this entire exhaust. Oh, that's fucking perfect. I'm gonna set that there. You can see there's a rub mark there. There's a few rub marks. So we're gonna be chopping this somewhere here and redoing this whole out the back section. But for what it is, the exhaust is pretty decent. It just, you know what I mean? It needs that little extra bit. And I know I can't technically weld stainless. We're gonna see how this fucking goes. I think we're gonna end up welding these two together. So initially the goal was, which way is it? This way. The goal was to weld this to where it could fit between, but I think it's gonna be a pain in the ass to do that. So realistically, I think we are gonna end up cutting this piece out because I think it makes the most sense. And it looks like we got pretty damn close with the exhaust pipes. I'm really hoping that this one just kind of slides in here, but I gotta figure out how I want to do these cuts with where this is to trim some of this off and just weld this flange straight to that and then leave that like right there in the center, like kind of right there. Yeah, we'll see. I'm gonna start making cuts and just kind of seeing what happens, because we can always change the orientation of that too if we need. But definitely, I think that's how that's gonna go, is that's gonna get chopped off. All right, so this should work out pretty well. So here's the piece that we cut off, and what I noticed, this has to be dead set, like up and down. So this is how it sits, just like that is the bottom. Same thing with this. This is exactly on the bottom. Now, I got very lucky with this pipe. This could have been way worse. And I didn't even measure. So you can see that's about how much gap we have. So if I can even this out and center it so that this can be perfect, I'm probably gonna do like right about there. Might even come in a little bit further. Might actually just put it right about there. So that'll be perfect. I just need to find something where I can put a couple of shims in here to weld it and make sure that that is 100% straight, because like we cannot have any imperfections. So let me figure this out and I'll get. All right, so we got the first section all welded out. You guys can see nice little through there, and we got good penetration throughout the entire thing. So this is step one. This will physically bolt up to the car, and I think we're gonna do, this will probably, I'm gonna figure out which one I wanna make the top, because I think one of the holes might be a little bit more oblong than the, I don't know. I'm just gonna mark it. I'm gonna say top. And before you guys say anything, I did measure how far this should be to the front of the flex plate here, right here. So I measured all that out, so I know exactly how long it's gonna be. So that way I don't have to put this back up on the car to test fit. I am literally just gonna do all of this, and let's just, you know, hope like hell it works. Pretty much this, so if we set that there, and we set that there, it should sit like somewhere like right around there. So we're already overshooting it for this, not a big deal, because if we have to cut these and bend these a different way, I'm not worried about that. These will probably weld on the car, and I have just enough gas to do this fucking project here. So we're gonna take number 2 here, make sure that we are the right way. We are going this way, and definitely gonna cut some out of here. And I would like it if this one goes into this one. So I think What I could probably do is just cut off the entire end section here so that that one will just fit in. I think that's what we'll do, and then we will remeasure and see how long of a distance we have. So I'm just going to chop this entire weld off so that way that pipe can... So here's where we're at. I chopped it off, and you can see there is a double lip in here. So we are going to cut this second one out so that the other one can just slide right in. We're going to have to get rid of all that. So I started chopping it. This poor screwdriver gets used more as a pry bar than it does an actual screwdriver, but get that cut out, and then we should just be able to slide this whole thing in. And it looks like they just tack welded it in a couple of places, so we should be able to break those free no problem, especially because they're just, you know, Amazon Chinese quality. So let's get that out. And then, so I will say this material here is super thin. So we blew through there and then had to fill a hole the whole way through, and then same thing with right there. But the rest of it didn't look bad. Other than the BBs, ignore the BBs. I don't have the spray to stop that. But we have the cannon. So let's see, make sure that I got these both the correct way. It looks like I did. So, probably should have checked that prior, but I wanted those on the other side. But we have two really long resonating pieces, and that's about where it's going to sit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to chop this right at the flange, and then we can adjust the rest of it from basically right there. So this is supposed to be as straight as possible. Mind you, this weld is going to be different, so it's going to look like it's doing that, but that's really not the case. It just depends on where the weld's at. But I'll find the best way to mount this when we get it to the car, to start chopping that a while and figuring out where I'm going to weld that. But I should probably... I gotta figure out which end I'm going to put down. I think right about there. And then we'll probably... I don't know. I don't know if we're going to use that hanger or not. At least not yet. I'll probably have to move the car over there to do that, but these I'll probably just tack weld to the body, or move them here and then flip them the opposite way. So I'll probably end up moving it over there, to be honest, to do all that, which sucks because I'll have to do the reset up and everything. So I don't know. Let's so here's kind of what it's gonna look like. I'm gonna try to get this as straight as possible and also match up everything accordingly. So that needs to be at the top. This sitting just like that, this is perfect. I'm going to have to get the measurement from there to this guy here, and then figure out where in here we're going to put that. The other thing I'm concerned about is that pipe being the way that it is. Hopefully... Actually, this whole system kind of fucking sucks ass anyway, so it's like I'm not even going to worry about it. It doesn't have to be the best flowing thing in the world. It's already better than what it was stock. It might even help to quiet it down, if anything. So let's get these measurements, measure from here to the end of that, try to get it perfect, and then use our little shims that we got going on. I had 4, now I have 3, because one is in the exhaust somewhere. So grab my measuring tape, let's do it. All right, that should be right. That end at the, oh, I fucked up a little bit. I didn't even realize that. I didn't make sure that that was 100% at the top. Let's go see if our measurements are correct at least, but I kind of, I fucked up. I only tacked it, don't worry. Threw some shitty tacks in there. But yeah, that was a fuck up on my end. I did not realize I did that. I'm going to go test fit it, see where we're at, make sure the measurements at the bare minimal are at least correct. And if they are, I'll just cut that off, re-weld it. But man, that fucking just a smidge. That sucks. So I was pretty distracted when I did that. So the fact that that lined up as close as it did, I'm actually surprised. If I didn't make that little boo-boo, this was a first time. That was a first try. If I didn't make that boo-boo, we are the perfect length because a gasket's gonna fit between that and snork it up. We are gonna have to pound that guy in a little bit. Oh, look at that. That would be perfect. So I'm gonna get my measurement for these right here, figure out where those need to go. And yeah, we're just gonna break those tacks off. I'll trace around it so I know exactly where everything needs to go, and then we'll just make that so that it goes up top. All right, so this test fit is much better. Perfect length, perfect all of that. We don't hit anywhere. She's all in. And then we just need to, can't remember which way we were gonna do it. Definitely not out there. I think we're gonna do it. No. I gotta remember which way we're gonna do this. So I've ultimately decided that we're just not gonna weld that piece in. I did get the entire thing welded around after that test fit. Now, realistically, I could have been a smidge that way. Like, I mean, a fraction of a millimeter. It could have went that way. But it worked, it fitted up. I'm not gonna deal with it. So in the next video, with this exhaust system, you'll see us fucking tearing this piece off in this whole section. Let's hear how it sounds. I think that's the big question y'all want me to answer. How does a fart can sound when you throw 2 glass packs before it? I think that actually looks pretty good. Definitely not perfect by any means, but neither was the system that I got. You know what I mean? I'm not an exhaust builder, but for what it is, I can build a pretty okay exhaust. So let's go get this fucking thing installed. Literally takes 30 seconds to throw under the car and put it up. Super easy. All right, just before 2 o'clock, we got everything to clear. Obviously, the cannon didn't change positions, but let's get this thing fired up and see what she sounds like now. Hopefully, it doesn't sound like shit. Still hits exactly where it hit before, so we did good. Doesn't hit anywhere else, hopefully. Sounds a lot quieter. I mean, what do you guys think? So we went from this hollowed out, this is hollow, to 2 canisters. I think we did good. You know? I think with an unequal length header, a turbo, I think it'll sound pretty good. And a different canister, I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know, because I didn't get to hear it from the outside. All right, you guys know the drill. We're gonna see how it sounds driving. Hit these speed bumps. Oh, you don't bottom out. That's nice. It's a nice feature for a lowered car. Let's hit it sideways. Oh yeah, so we're not that low. We're gonna hit the highway, see what VTEC sounds like, see what it sounds like normally accelerating. There might be a little bit of a rattle from the heat shield and also the exhaust out the back. So, like I said, we'll take care of that on the next video. This should be the last video for the Honda for at least a couple weeks. So we'll see. You can hear VTEC better. Alright. Definitely can hear VTEC better because the exhaust is a lot more muffled now. Definitely nice having a muffler. definitely a lot more tame. Oh, it's way more tame. I'm curious to see what another muffler will do for it, but yeah, it's way more tame. And as that muffler breaks in, it's either going to get a little louder or a little quieter, but I mean, for what it is, I think the next thing we need to do is go get this thing in alignment. That's our next goal. So it's just getting it in to get it done. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. I know not as many time lapses on this one. I don't know if I did any time lapses on this one. But we have an exhaust. That is, we have de-fart cannoned the fart cannon. It still sounds like a 4-cylinder, but so does my Gixxer. So hope you guys enjoyed. See ya.